There comes a moment in every person's life when the weight of disappointment tries to convince them to bury what they were born to build. Some dreams don't die because they were impossible. Many dreams die because we give them a funeral too soon. Today, I want to remind you, don't bury your dream. Don't lower the volume of your calling just because life turned up the noise. Don't let temporary setbacks make you cover what still has breath. Your dream is not an accident. It was placed inside you with intention, and even if circumstances have tried to suffocate it, there is still a pulse. You may not see movement right now, you may not see progress right now, but potential doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits for courage, it waits for faith, it waits for the version of you who refuses to quit. When fear whispers, it's too late, answer it with your action. When doubt says, you failed before, answer it with your growth. When people tell you, be realistic, answer them by refusing to settle. Dreams weren't meant to be realistic. They were meant to be pursued with heart, sacrifice, and resilience. Today, make a decision. I will not bury what still has life. I will not cover what still has purpose. I will not give up on the future waiting inside me, because the dream you bury becomes the regret you carry. And nothing weighs heavier than what could have been. You owe it to yourself to keep digging, keep building, keep fighting. Even if you start small, even if no one celebrates you, even if the world doubts you. Because dreams aren't fulfilled by applause, they are fulfilled by consistency. Don't bury your dream, breathe into it. Work for it, protect it, nurture it, and one day you'll watch it rise. There are seasons in life when everything around you seems still, silent, and motionless. You look at your efforts, your journey, your sacrifices, and it feels like nothing is moving. It feels like your dream is frozen in place, buried beneath delays, disappointments, and doubts. But the truth is this: just because you don't see movement doesn't mean the dream is dead. Some of the greatest transformations happen beneath the surface, in the unseen, in the places where roots grow before the tree appears. Your dream still has life. Even if your circumstances don't show results yet, it's easy to give up when all you see is stagnation. You pray, you plan, you push, and yet the ground seems hard and unresponsive. You wonder if you misheard your calling, if you overestimated your potential, if you were foolish to believe in something so big. But dreams are not measured by immediate outcomes. They are measured by endurance, by the willingness to continue even when the evidence is unclear. Every dream goes through a waiting season. Every vision walks through a valley before it stands on a mountain. And every person with a calling must learn the art of holding on when everything screams, let go. The seeds you plant don't sprout the moment you cover them with soil. In fact, for a long time, it seems like nothing is happening at all. But beneath that soil, something powerful is taking place. Roots are forming, foundations are strengthening, internal systems are preparing for growth. If you judge the seed by what you couldn't see, you would call it dead. But the seed isn't dead, it's developing. And the same is true for your dream. Just because it's hidden doesn't mean it's buried. Just because it's silent doesn't mean it's stopped. Life is still pulsing inside it, waiting for the right moment to break through. Sometimes life forces you into a season of preparation before manifestation. You're being shaped, stretched, sharpened, and strengthened. You're being taught patience, resilience, and focus. You're being molded into the person who can handle the dream once it arrives. The version of you who started the journey is not always the version who will finish it. That's why God allows quiet seasons. That's why life sometimes slows you down. Not because the dream is gone, but because the dream is too big to hand to someone unprepared. You're not denied, you're being developed. You're not behind, you're being built. There will be people who look at your lack of progress and assume you failed. There will be voices that tell you to move on, to be realistic, to choose something smaller. But you cannot allow temporary silence to define permanent truth. You cannot allow slow progress to convince you that your dream has no heartbeat. Dreams take time. Growth takes time. Breakthroughs take time. And if you give up during the silent season, you'll never experience what the silent season was preparing you for. You must train your heart to trust what your eyes cannot see. You must learn to hear the quiet whisper that says, keep going, because the dream is not depending on applause, approval, or visible success. It's depending on your persistence. Your consistency is the oxygen that keeps it alive. Every step you take, no matter how small, feeds that dream with life. Every moment of discipline, every choice to continue, every act of faith is a breath into the lungs of your future. When circumstances don't reflect your expectations, that's not the moment to quit. That's the moment to lean in even harder. The truth is, stillness does not equal death. Delay does not equal defeat. Silence does not equal surrender. There are dreams that took years to come to life. Not because they weren't possible, but because they weren't ready. The dream was alive the whole time, growing silently, waiting respectfully, preparing to be revealed at the right moment. The question isn't whether your dream is alive. The question is whether you are willing to believe in it when you can't see it. Are you willing to continue watering the soil even when the ground looks dry? Are you willing to push through seasons where nothing changes? Are you willing to trust the process even when the process feels like a pause? Remember, this movement is not always visible. Progress is not always public. Growth is not always loud. The deepest, strongest parts of your destiny develop quietly. And if you stay committed during the silent seasons, the day will come when what was hidden breaks into the open. The day will come when your persistence meets your purpose. The day will come when the dream that once seemed buried rises with undeniable power. So don't lose heart. Don't misinterpret stillness as death. Don't bury a dream that still has life. Something is happening even when nothing is visible. Your dream is breathing. Your destiny is forming. Your future is preparing to unfold. Keep believing, keep working, and keep waiting with expectation. Because the dream you think is sleeping is actually getting ready to wake up. Fear, failure, and doubt are some of the most powerful forces that stand between a person and their dream. These forces do not need storms, disasters, or enemies to destroy what you are trying to build. They work silently, internally, slowly wearing down your belief in yourself until you begin to question the very possibility of your own future. Every dream, no matter how big or small, must pass through the battlefield of the mind. And in that battlefield, fear whispers lies, failure reminds you of your past, and doubt steals the courage you need to move forward. But these forces only have the authority you hand them. The moment you stop giving them permission is the moment your dream begins to rise again. Fear always shows up first. It appears the moment you decide to step into something unfamiliar. It tells you that you're not qualified, not ready, not strong enough. It magnifies every weakness you have and minimizes every strength you carry. Fear's job is to keep you safe, but safe from growth, safe from change, safe from possibility. It wraps you in comfort and convinces you that comfort is the same as security. But dreams do not grow in comfort. Destiny does not bloom in safety. The life you want will always demand a version of you that fear tries to hide. And if you allow fear to dictate your decisions, you'll never step into the life you were created for. Fear is loud, but it is not truthful. It feels powerful, but it has no real substance. It only wins when you yield. Then there is failure, perhaps the most painful teacher you will ever encounter. Failure carries the memories of every mistake, every disappointment, every misstep. It plays them back in your mind until you start believing that your failures are instructions instead of lessons. But failure is never final unless you stop trying. Every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard is built on a foundation of failures that shape them rather than stop them. Failure is not a coffin, it is a classroom. It forces you to grow, to adjust, to learn, and to evolve. But too many people let failure turn into fear, and fear then turns into paralysis. They bury their dream because of something that was meant to teach them, not destroy them. If you allow failure to define you, you will abandon what was designed to elevate you. Doubt, however, is the quietest enemy of all. Doubt is subtle. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It slips into your thoughts when you are tired, overwhelmed, or unsure. Doubt makes you think your dream is unrealistic, that your progress is too slow, that your vision is too impossible. It convinces you that you should lower your expectations, reduce your goals, shrink your imagination. Doubt is dangerous because it operates like erosion, slow, silent, gradual, until one day you wake up and realize you don't believe in yourself anymore. Doubt doesn't need evidence. It just needs your attention. And when you give it attention, it begins to shape your inner narrative. Dreams die not from lack of potential, but from lack of belief. What you must understand is that these forces, fear, failure, and doubt, are not indicators of your inability. They are indicators of your potential. They show up because your dream threatens your limitations. They fight you because your future terrifies your past. If you had no potential, fear would not try to stop you. If you had no purpose, failure would not try to discourage you. If you had no destiny, doubt would not try to confuse you. These forces arrive because you have something worth fighting for, something worth protecting. The key is to stop giving these forces authority. You must learn to talk back to fear, to reinterpret failure, to silence doubt. You cannot stop these voices from showing up, but you can stop them from steering your decisions. You must remind yourself that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. You must remind yourself that failure is not a verdict. It's a signal that you are stretching, growing, and learning. You must remind yourself that doubt is not reality. It is a temporary feeling that cannot predict your outcome. Every dreamer must develop the skill of internal warfare, the ability to stand your ground even when your mind tries to retreat. You must train your thoughts like a soldier trains for battle. You must identify the lies that fear tells you and confront them with truth. You must take your failures and frame them as stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. You must catch doubt the moment it arises and refuse to negotiate with it. Because the moment you stop letting these forces define you, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your confidence. You reclaim your dream. And once you take back control of your inner world, your outer world begins to shift. Fear loses its influence. Failure loses its sting. Doubt loses its grip. What once felt impossible suddenly becomes achievable. What once felt distant feels within reach. What once felt overwhelming becomes manageable. Your dream is too important to surrender to internal enemies. Your future is too valuable to let emotions make decisions. Your destiny is too significant to let the past dictate the present. You must stand firm. You must push through. You must rise above the voices that try to bury what God placed inside you. The dream is still alive, but it needs you to stop giving power to the very things that were meant to test you, not break you. When you stop letting fear, failure, and doubt sit in the driver's seat, you finally step into the version of yourself that your dream requires. And once you become that version, nothing can stop you. Not circumstances, not delays, not obstacles, because the greatest battle was never outside. It was always inside. And once you win there, you win everywhere. Consistency and courage are the lifeblood of every dream that has ever been fulfilled. They are not glamorous, they are not loud, and they rarely get applause in the beginning, but they are the quiet forces that resurrect what looks buried. Many people dream, many people desire, many people imagine a better future, but only those who remain consistent and courageous see their dreams rise from the ground into reality. The dream doesn't come alive because of talent alone. It doesn't manifest because of luck. It stands because someone chose to show up again and again, long after the excitement was gone, long after motivation faded, and long after the journey grew heavy. Consistency is the daily decision to honor your dream when no one is watching. And courage is the strength to pursue it even when everything tries to push you back. Consistency is difficult because it demands endurance. It asks you to keep moving even when progress feels painfully slow. It requires you to stay committed even when you don't feel inspired. Most people are committed only when they feel good, only when conditions are perfect, only when the path seems clear. But dreams are not built in perfect conditions. They are built in messy places, in tired seasons, in uncertain moments. Consistency is the discipline to keep doing the work even when your emotions are unpredictable. It is the strength to keep planting seeds even when the field looks empty. It is the courage to keep building even when no one applauds your effort. Without consistency, dreams starve, they suffocate, they weaken. But with consistency, even the smallest effort compounds into extraordinary outcomes over time. Courage, on the other hand, is the fire that keeps you alive through the storms that try to break you. Every dream will demand courage because every dream will confront you with something bigger than your comfort zone. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward even when fear attacks. It is not about being fearless. It is about being determined. Courage tells you that you are capable even when your mind is unsure. Courage gives you strength to start, to restart, and sometimes to start all over again. Courage is what empowers you to try again after failure, to rise after falling, to believe again after disappointment. Without courage, you retreat. Without courage, you shrink. Without courage, your dream becomes smaller than your fears. But with courage, even mountains look climbable. The most powerful thing happens when consistency and courage work together. Consistency keeps you moving. Courage keeps you from turning back. One pushes your feet, the other pushes your heart. One shapes your discipline, the other shapes your identity. Together they create momentum, slow at first, almost invisible, like a whisper, but over time, momentum becomes the force that lifts your dream from the ground. People often look at someone successful and think they made a giant leap. But what they don't see is years of small steps taken with consistency and courage. They don't see the late nights, the early mornings, the small sacrifices, the quiet battles. Dreams rise not because of one big moment, but because of thousands of small intentional choices. There will be days when your consistency feels pointless. Days when you show up, work hard, pour yourself out, and see no results. Those are the days that test your loyalty to your dream. Those are the days that define your future. Consistency is not proven by how well you start, but by how long you endure. You must remind yourself that every step counts, even if it is small. Every action matters, even if it is unimpressive. Every habit contributes, even if it feels repetitive. What looks like nothing today becomes the breakthrough of tomorrow. And there will be moments when your courage is shaken. Moments when people criticize you, moments when your plans fall apart, moments when life hits you harder than you expected. Courage will feel like a weak whisper inside you, but even a whisper of courage is more powerful than a scream of fear. Courage is not about never breaking down. It is about refusing to stay broken. It is about getting up with trembling hands and shaky legs, but getting up nonetheless. Courage is choosing to believe in your future even when your past tries to haunt you. If you want your dream to rise, you must stop waiting for perfect confidence or perfect conditions. You must stop expecting the path to be smooth or predictable. You must stop waiting for validation from others before you move. Dreams do not respond to hesitation. They respond to action. They rise when you show up consistently. They rise when you step forward courageously. They rise when you stop delaying, stop doubting, and stop letting fear dictate your decisions. Your dream is waiting for you to grow into the person who can carry it. That person is built through daily habits, daily sacrifices, daily acts of bravery. Every time you choose consistency, you strengthen your dream's foundation. Every time you choose courage, you increase its height. Every time you choose both, you breathe life back into what looked buried. So don't stop now. Don't slow down. Don't underestimate the power of steady steps and brave decisions. You may not see the results yet, but they are forming. You may not feel the momentum yet, but it is building. You may not hear applause yet, but the heavens are watching your persistence. Your dream is waiting not to be buried, but to be resurrected. And it will rise when you show up with unwavering consistency and unstoppable courage.